when I joined, I think it was what, like over about a year ago or something.
Yeah.
I was actually, the prompt was I was helping my wife out with her business, and I realized that the whole constraint of her business at that time was Facebook ads, Meta ads, and my lack of knowledge on how to create a successful, scalable campaign. We were doing okay, but trying to scale it up, I just really didn't know what I was doing. I had taken course before that taught me all of the wrong things. And so, because I was doing things wrong, I was just messing with meta and making it worse. And so, I ended up just going on YouTube and listening to every different influencer who talks about meta ads. And finally, I found your videos, and for the first time, it actually made sense. Like all of the other ones were not like I feel like it just didn't seem quite right to me. Um, so then I binged your whole channel, and just watching your YouTube alone, I felt like already that was a 10x level up. And then it was shortly after that that you opened the community for the first time. So of course I'm like, gotta jump in here. And man, I'm trying to even remember back then what the numbers were. I know that we took her business pretty quickly. I think it was within 6 weeks from like $0 to 12K a month in revenue, which was pretty great at that point to do just purely with the meta ads. And that was definitely a direct result of having the tools to run a campaign properly the way that you teach. And so that was the first win there. And then since then, man, so I'll cover a couple things. Number one, just implementing something that is so simple has been really it's just changed everything for me because before I was doing all of this work that felt important, like testing all of this different stuff and looking at all these metrics that ultimately I've learned don't really matter or pointing to the wrong things, right? And that took a lot of my time, first of all, but also all I was doing was I was messing with something that just needed time to cook. It's like if you keep taking the cake out of the oven and like poking it or stirring it up. It's like, no, just let the cake cook, man. So switching to that, first of all, it saved me a bunch of time. And then second of all, one of the one of the moments for me where I saw how different my experience with meta ads is now versus most people's. You know, when Andromeda dropped and everyone is freaking out, first of all, I went through these Reddit threads where everyone was saying like Andromeda killed my business. They're doing like 100K a month e-commerce stuff, and then all of a sudden it all just goes to hell and they don't have a business anymore. Meanwhile, I kind of just forgot to check my meta ads manager, but I checked it. I'm like, oh yeah, Andromeda happened. Oh cool, my cost per lead is down $2. Like no, it didn't affect me at all because I was already working with Meta's algorithm the way that it's designed rather than fighting it the way that most people teach. And I'm all about simple and I'm all about what works. And that's what I love about the system that you teach. And so it's just like it wasn't even a bump in the road for me. It was just, oh, great. That's like now my ads are doing slightly better.
I love that
Whereas,
it was like a slight reminder to, oh, I should check in on the ad account. Because one of the things we talk about is like, you don't need to.
yeah.
Like is in the saving time, how much time are you spending in the ad account before?
Oh, I mean, it was definitely hours per week. Like,
Mm.
I don't know. It depends on the week, but if I was really trying to like scale things up, it's probably 5 to 10 hours a week. And now, um, I mean, this last week was special because I'm launching a new like self-liquidating offer. So I spent maybe an hour setting that up. And then I checked it like 10 minutes, twice for my other campaigns last week, and everything's going great. And I don't need to mess with it. And
That's
that's the thing that I love is that it can be my tendency to like mess with things, but
of
just
course.
just following your guidance on letting Meta do what it does best, and it does just get better.
Yeah, it's crazy how letting the cake cook lets the magic happen. You know, it's like what it's milk, there's some eggs, some weird powder, there's butter, and then like you turn around and then it's a chocolate cake. Like what happened? Which
Yeah.
is incredible. Um, and what kind of numbers are you guys doing now, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, so I'm actually so you can cut this part out, but actually
Sure,
the piece with my wife's business and everything, Meta, we pretty much stopped being able to run ads successfully on Meta due to the health and wellness
sure.
thing that happened. And so she's crushing it right now with organic.
I love it.
But I've switched over in August of last year, kind of back to my core business that I had started a while ago. And peak of that, we were doing about 40K a month. And then the nice thing too is the constraint of that isn't the Facebook ads. And
Hmm.
so like I could profitably scale up our Facebook ads no problem as long as I fix the other challenges that are happening in the business with our sales process and everything. But like just going from when I first found your work, the constraint of the business being my ability to run meta ads to now, that's never the problem. It's like the meta ads are working fine, and now I can just use my time and energy and attention to work on the actual constraints of the business because the meta ads are working fine.
I love that, man, and I think the constraints. That's it's. I talked about that a lot in the lead gen for operators course. It's just like what is the constraint, right? And I love that because it's such a thing. I think people are so focused on the ego and the pride of the dollars you're spending on a daily basis. And that has nothing to do with the money you take home at the end of the day. I mean, obviously, there's some correlation. If you're spending $1 million a day, hopefully you're taking more than $1 home that day. But like, one doesn't directly indicate the other, you know? And I think that's a big change that a lot of people think about and a lot of people approach things. And with that in mind, like I'd love to know a bit about some of the changes. Like, what did you end up changing in the ad account? What are some of the things that you did differently? I don't know if there's a couple of examples, but like you went from several hours maybe an hour or two a day to having to remember to check. Like there's that's it's not just because you hit join on a group. Like there's some things that you did. I'm wondering if you don't mind just kind of laying some of those things out.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna cover some things that is me doing it totally wrong previously. But one thing I just want to touch on that because I see it's like everybody's talking about. I see all these ads for like meta ads agencies and creative agencies, and everyone is just hammering like produce like thousands of creatives a month because Andromeda is asking for it. Man, all of these poor people are gonna like pay this agency a bunch of money to produce way more creatives than their ad account can handle, and it's gonna make their performance worse. And so that would be the first thing is rather than trying to produce an enormous volume of creative that my account couldn't actually handle, just focusing on the 4PI method and only replacing the creatives that are the worst performing when that's needed, which honestly, we found some pretty decent ones and we don't have to do that very much. Um, so that's one thing. And then another thing is just knowing what metrics to pay attention to and when to change things. Before I'm trying to think of how exactly I was measuring it before, but the way that I had been taught, I was like looking at my ad account every day and I Oh, this is it. Yeah. I didn't know that every ad set is basically a funnel where you have your prospecting ads, you have your like closing ads, all of that. And so I was turning off really high performing prospecting ads because by the metrics I had been taught by other people, they were not performing well. So I was basically cutting off the inflow of my funnel and trying to force like the conversion ads or the closing ads at the end to do all of the work of the prospecting ads, which they don't do very well. And so every time Meta would find something that like this combination works, we'll use this prospecting ad and then we'll close them with this one. I would look at the metrics the way that I'd been taught by most other people and be like, okay, turn off that ad, and then force the algorithm to keep figuring things out on the fly, which obviously negatively affects performance. And I was taking my time to do that instead of focusing on other areas of the business. So I would say like the 4PI analysis and just looking at what metrics to check, that's been a huge win for me. Um, I think it was Warren Buffett who said, if you can't read the scoreboard, you don't know the score. And if you don't know the score, you can't tell who's winning and who's losing. It's like that for your Meta Ads account too.
Totally. Yeah. I love that you mentioned that, the launching dozens or hundreds of creatives down into just saying, well, this thing has a job, this thing has a job, and then just trying to repair the ones that need a little bit of help. I mean, with that in mind, like how many ads are you launching? Like if you could say like in the average month or the average week, I'm launching X number of ads, what would that be?
I mean, on average, it would be less than one. I rarely, I mean, like recently, I started launching a new like self-liquidating offer. So, um, this last week I launched a few for the new campaign, but on my
Sure.
existing campaign, I mean, it's doing fine. Like, I don't think I've added a new creative in months, actually. It's just like doing okay. I don't need to mess with it.
Oh, I think that's gonna break people's brains. They're like, but how does that make it work? And it's like, well, that's actually why it works, right?
Yeah.
They're like that flip is just so incredibly powerful, and I love hearing it as a guy. I love hearing other people say it in the way that you're describing it to me. It's very cathartic. I don't know. It's a beautiful thing. Um, so with
That,
that in mind, man, I would love to know from you. Um, like who you think this is right for, or like what's like, who do you think this would help the most, and is there anybody you think it shouldn't help, and like what was the moment that it really like clicked for you?
oh man. I mean, I think anyone who's running ads on Meta, it's right for, with the caveat that like you got to just try it. It's like I think it can be hard to switch into a new system that works differently from the way that a lot of people are saying that it works. Um, but then for me, I just look at the results that I've been experiencing, and they were a lot worse before, and they're a lot better now. So like that's good enough for me. Um, but yeah, I mean, like I recommend you to everyone I know who's running Meta ads because I care about them and I don't want them to waste a bunch of money or waste a bunch of time doing things that are going to make their ad account worse. Um, and so yeah, like really, if you're running Meta ads, and the thing that I really appreciate about you too, Charlie, is that like I came to you because I needed help with meta ads, but meta ads are never the only issue or the only piece of your business. And you could like if you just optimize meta ads perfectly, but the rest of your business sucks, like you have no back end, no repeat purchases, you don't have like no brand, like any of this stuff, like it's going to be hard just to win with meta ads alone or win to the degree that you could. And the thing that I really appreciate about the way that you teach is you don't teach meta ads in a vacuum. You teach them as related to all of the other parts of your business that actually impact the profitability. So rather than just focusing on making a pretty ROAS number, you're actually teaching people how to take home money at the end of the month. And that is a huge difference. There are so many businesses that have a really great looking ROAS and the founder is like they don't have furniture in their house because they have gone so many months without being able to buy furniture. Like that it was a true story that I heard. So, yeah, I really appreciate the holistic focus there. And I'll add another thing too because this is something that I just implemented. And it has to do with the creative thing too, where I followed the advice that you gave me on our like the Roast My Ad account and was so I've been tracking those custom metrics, tracking people down the funnel after they become leads. And so I figured now I have enough data on this. What if I just create a new campaign that's optimizing for people who for people who go through my process and are qualified enough to book a call. And so I just implemented that last week and our cost per qualified booked call went down from around $250 to around $50 in the first week of the campaign. And so who knows if it'll stay there, but I'm a lot happier with that than and like I said before, it was working all right. But yeah, that's I'm pretty stoked about that.
Yeah, I mean, if it ends up just you spend 20% of the money, that's added profit. I tell people all the time, like one time I added 12 million a year in EBITDA to a business by cutting 30,000 a day in ad spend.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing though. Like most people don't think about that, right? Or no, most people don't teach about that. I feel like they're like the people who are teaching business at a higher level who most of them aren't teaching Facebook ads specifically. They're like, they have business masterminds and everything. And a lot of the people who are teaching Facebook ads are just teaching that in a vacuum. And that, like I said, I just so appreciate that you're not just teaching Facebook ads, you're teaching how to run a profitable business that includes meta ads.
I appreciate that a lot, man. That's, I think, the way I think of myself in it, and that means so much. I really appreciate it. I don't want to keep you for too long, but I just if there's anything you'd like to say to anybody, or if you want to promote what you got going on, I'd love to maybe give you the last word, and then we can see each other again in the academy. I just want to say thank you, and I get to provide for my family because people like you find value in what I'm doing, and I try to provide value. It's this wonderful symbiosis of just dads trying to make the family better, and that's not a terrible place for you and I to be in.
I'm with you, man. I feel like of all of the I go through my checking account like every month and audit my expenses, and I feel happy seeing that money leave my account and go to Disruptor Academy every month just because like I feel like both in the way that I feel about it and in the pure economics of my bank account, the value that I've received from being in Academy has been so many times more than like what I have paid for it. I was just thinking about like as I was thinking about like jumping on this call, wow, I joined like this big expensive business mastermind, like, thousands of dollars a month and everything, and didn't get even 1/10 of the value after that out of that I did from Disruptor Academy, which is what, like a few $100 a month or something now. It's really Disruptor Academy has been one of the highest ROI decisions that I've made in my business, really. And like anyone I know who has a business that runs meta ads, I recommend them to you because I'm just really grateful, man. Like I really mean that. It's just to have someone who I can really trust to guide me on meta ads, like it it has an impact not just in the like I want my business to be successful way, but also like it takes a weight off my shoulders because my business is what provides for my family. And knowing that there's someone who I can trust who's there to answer questions when like things change or things get crazy. Um, yeah, it just like I'm really grateful to have you as a mentor and anyone who's considering working with you, I just want to say like I know the internet's a crazy place. But Charlie's the real deal. Like he really knows what he's talking about. And in my experience, at least, the results have been really great. And over the last year or more, they've continued to just get better. So yeah, I really appreciate you, man.
Oh, dude, I really appreciate you. And with that, I think I'll let you go. I think we're maybe 10 minutes over what I think we were supposed to do, and I appreciate your time. And I really thank you, man. That means a lot. And I'm gonna go with my head a little bit higher for the rest of the day. So I very much appreciate that. And take care, buddy. I'll see you soon.
Sounds good, man. Yeah,
All right.
anytime. I'm always happy to say good things about Disruptor Academy. I appreciate you.
All right. I appreciate it, dude. I'll see you later.
See you later, man. Bye bye.
Bye.